Hi, my name is Caroline Macon, and my topic this week is why should we study communication? Communication is a vital part of day-to-day living. We use it all the time. We use it every time that we meet somebody, every time that we talk to somebody, whether it's texting, whether it's talking to them in person, whether it's over a video like this. Communication is extremely important. We use it to interact with people, and we practice with it constantly. So a lot of people ask, why do we need to study communication if we're always using it and we're always practicing it? And that's because communication simply is not just an easy process. It's very complex, and it has several components to it that make it what it is. So lack of communication can cause a lot of problems in relationships. It can actually cause marriages to fall apart. It can just greatly affect the way that you connect with somebody else. So if you meet somebody for the first time, you want to have good communication with them. You want to have good communication skills, and you really just want to know how to communicate properly, because there are non-verbal communication skills as well as verbal communication skills. And non-verbal communication is stuff like body language, how close you stand to somebody, maybe the eye contact you make, what you do with your mouth, what you do with your eyebrows. Just that kind of stuff is nonverbal communication. And within verbal communication, there's actually things such as range, tone, pitch. Just the way that you talk to somebody is also a big part of communicating with them. So on top of using it in a professional manner and using it in our close relationships, it's also important to understand it, because understanding how important communication is opens the doors to why we should use it. Having a wider range of knowledge in terms of communication is crucial because it is so complex, and we just really need to constantly study it. It's just like chemistry. Chemistry is really complex, so we always have to study it. We always have to learn it. The same thing goes for communication, because communication is extremely, extremely dense and complex. Communication is basically a variety of behaviors used in several contexts, settings, and requires critical thinking. So this is not something that's just common sense. A lot of people think that it is. Communication is actually something that you have to think about, that you have to practice, that you really have to build on. It's not something that we just know kind of instantly. We have a little bit of communication skills, but we don't know all that we need to know about communication, because there are a lot of small things that go into communicating. Even if it's over text, when you're texting somebody, your texting style kind of gives away your mood and your emotions and what you're feeling, and just kind of even things like punctuation can really affect the way that your communication sounds or how people think you feel, just things like that. So communication can do great things, and it can also do terrible things. Although it does not necessarily end relationships, communication can completely damage a relationship, but it can also help maintain relationships and build them stronger. Communication can also lead to bad interview skills, which can lead to unemployment. If you don't have a good interview, you don't have good communication, that can lead you to not getting a job. And that's why it's more important to study communication. And it can also help us get a job. It can also help us become effective at work and in school. And there are several careers in communication that you could choose from. And you honestly use communication in every career, but specifically advertising, teaching, journalism, theater, anything like that, social work, anything like that where you're talking to people a lot, that has to deal a lot with communication. And communication is so important in these jobs, just as important as it is in our day-to-day life. It's a process. So people generate meanings through the exchange of verbal and nonverbal messages. And it's also a transactional process that generates meaning through exchange, verbal and nonverbal messages in a specific context. So using communication, as I said before, isn't just a verbal thing, it's also nonverbal. So little body movements that you might not even notice are actually very important when communicating to someone. So communication, all in all, can really help you strive in life, because it's important to know how to interact with others properly, because if you don't know how to do that, then it's very difficult to just live your day-to-day life. You interact with people constantly, 24/7, every day. So communication is just very important in that manner to which it can help you succeed in life.